Have you ever felt like your life is going along an invisible path that you didn't even choose? Well, you're not alone. When I turned 18, I was freaking out. I was depressed and I had absolutely no idea what I want out of life. I didn't know where to put my energy in, I didn't know what to do, and it was just a huge mess. So I did what any sane person in such a situation would do. I looked up on internet for some advice. But most of the advice I found was just be yourself, bro. Follow your passion, trust in yourself, be authentic. While these things sound good, but they hold no absolute practical value in my life. Like, what do I do with these quotes? What do I do with these optimistic phrases? So that went for a long time. I taught myself some skills and I am really proud of that, but still I had no idea where I would fit in. I went through all kinds of painful experiences to fortunately learn how to regain control over my life. And I'm gonna show how you can do as quickly as possible using three levels of authenticity and one very powerful tool that is gonna simplify your life and empower you. So, level one, who even am I? This is quite a tricky question. In my quest of being myself, how can I know who I really am so that I can start being myself? In the course of my life, I have picked on thousands of habitual patterns. How can I know which is me and which is not me? And at that time, I had no idea what's me and what's not me. And the most common advice was the real you is what comes naturally. The real you comes when you are most comfortable. When you let yourself loose, that is when you are yourself. So I took that advice to my heart and I went on and practiced that. But soon enough, I realized that this is not it. See, for the longest time, I have identified myself as being shy. I held conversations within me, I held words within me. I avoided speaking up when I could, and being shy and holding my words in came to me very easily. It came to me naturally, and it felt like home to me. Like, this is who I am. I embraced it. I thought I was being authentic by not speaking up, by not sharing my ideas, and all those kind of things. But soon enough, I realized that this is not what being authentic is. I was just being loyal to emotional patterns, defensive patterns that I had developed when I was a child. I got brutally bullied for speaking up in my childhood. I got made fun of my voice because I sounded like a little girl, and I formed a pattern there. Like, after that time, I just avoided speaking up altogether. Whenever there would be an opportunity to speak up where I could share my ideas, I would just avoid it because I used to get insecure. I would feel anxious that if I share my ideas, if I speak my thoughts out, then I'm gonna get attacked, that other people might criticize me or all those kinds of things. So that became a pattern for me, and I was thinking that this is who I am because this was coming to me naturally. But that is not who I really am. I concluded that comfortability and naturalness and feeling at home is not what authenticity is. These are not factors of authenticity at all. For an example, if someone got raised in an environment of scarcity, they won't feel at home in abundance when they are grown up. They would feel at home and more comfortable in scarcity because that is what they have seen all their lives. Who you are is just a consequence of everything that has ever happened in your life. So, how can you be authentic and gain back control of your life? After applying many approaches towards authenticity, I concluded that I am most authentic when I am being who I want to be, when I am being who I would love to be. I think that's the case with everyone, including you. The reason that you desire to be that ideal version of you is enough. to let you know that that is what who you are authentically within you. And you don't have to become it. That authentic self is just desiring to express itself outside. It's within you, and it's looking for expression without. So you just have to find the resources for its expression. It can be action, it could be taking decisions, or anything. It can be anything. But in my opinion, in my worldview, authenticity is when you are being who you want to be, who you inspire to be. So, till now, comfortability and naturalness isn't what authenticity is. Instead, when you are inspired, when you are being who you want to be, when you are feeling alive in the moment, that is what your authentic expression is. And authenticity is also what's true for you in this moment. It could be nervousness, it could be sadness, it could be hurt, it could be excitement, it could be joy. So these all of these things which you are experiencing in this moment, that's also authenticity. That's your authentic expression. So don't suppress them, don't hide them, express them. That's okay. That's who you are in this moment. And return back to your inspiration, what you want to be, and being that, embodying that. That is what authenticity is, at least in my opinion. But that is just my idea. If you like it, then you are free to practice it. If you have a better idea yourself, then stick with that. But just knowing what authenticity is or what you are is not enough to regain control over your life. You have to move to level 2 of authenticity, which is actually regaining control back into your life. Do you know the reason why we feel that there's an invisible path to our lives that we don't know who created, or where is it, or where is it even leading? It's because we have absolutely no idea what our values are. Hollywood has taught us what beauty is, what health is, what success is, but we have to find what our own values are. For me, few of my top values are spirituality, growth, presence, and creative expression. These are the values that I'm always striving for, that I'm always growing towards. Most of my energy is spent towards moving towards these values. So you have to literally write a list of values. What things do you value in your life, and stick to them. You have to take steps towards them. Try your absolute best to incorporate those into your daily life. Next, we have to see what our definitions are. Media has taught us what success is, what health is, what beauty is, but you have to find your own definitions of things. Is health having six packs and being an Instagram model for you? Or is it having flexibility and mobility in your joints so you age gracefully and move freely all over your life? You have to define what your definitions are. So you literally have to pick each life aspect, whether it be health, whether it be wealth, success, relationships, love, and you have to find what your definitions are, what feels good to you. It doesn't have to comply with the world or what media says. It could be something totally different. It could be something small. It doesn't have to be this huge, grand idea of success. It could be something small, but define it. Once you define your values and your definitions, your life gets structured, and you'll see that over time, your energy, your focus, all of your resources are pointed towards these definitions, these values. So that over time, you end up creating a life and a lifestyle that reflects your values, that reflects your innermost desires, what you really want. If you don't define these things, then you'll just flip flopping from one thing to another without any idea in your mind. Once you define your values and your definitions in life, then you will become more and more authentic, and you'll start living an authentic life. But there's a huge roadblock between you and your authentic life. This is where level 3 comes in. It's all about people and society here. The reason we aren't authentic already is because of society. Society does not favor authenticity at all. And once you start living more and more authentically, you'll find that maybe even people near you start disliking you or start pulling you back where you were before. Because there is an unconscious contract between all of us, which just says that we all shall remain the same. And now that you are being authentic, you are daring to step away from that contract. And it's gonna piss some people off, and that's okay. There is some degree of pain that you would have to go through in your transition from your current life and to your more authentic life, and that's totally fine. It's okay. All kinds of growths take some degree of pain. Now, as promised, the one tool that is going to simplify your whole life and that's going to empower you all the time is vulnerability. You have to value vulnerability and literally put it at the top. Make it your number one priority, your number one value in your life. Now, you might be thinking, how can vulnerability help me, empower me, or where's the strength in it? Vulnerability literally means weakness or prone to getting hurt. But in my experience, vulnerability is the source of strength itself. Vulnerability is just letting your guard down and being okay with being disliked. When you go on and practice authenticity in your life, there's a possibility that some people might start disliking you because you're not pleasing them anymore, and it's going to piss them off, and that's okay. Most of us want to please everyone around us, and that's not possible. That is the source why we lose our authentic self. So vulnerability is just being okay with being disliked. You can even say it's the courage to be disliked. In fact, there's a book by this exact name, Courage to be Disliked. It's about the same topic and it goes very deep. It's one of those great books that, in my opinion, everyone should read at least once in their lifetimes. Vulnerability is sharing your ideas, it's sharing your feelings, it's sharing your thoughts, regardless of the concern that you will be disliked in the return. And this is one tool which is gonna simplify all of your relationships, cuts off all the drama out of your life. Practice that, value it, and actively move towards your values. So when I found my inspiration, when I found what my values are, what my definitions are, and I practiced vulnerability in real life, my life got a little bit simpler. I now know where I should be investing my energy in. I now know what kind of people are worth it, what kind of people are not. And this is not something that's gonna make you millionaire overnight and change everything. It's like a slow process, but it's worthwhile because your life will take on its this beautiful structure, and you'll keep moving towards what your values are, what your definitions are, what your preferences are. And over time you will realize that the things that you really want in your life, those things are coming in your life and you are becoming more and more yourself. There's nothing to hide, there's no drama in life, and everything is much more simple. If you liked this video, then I'm pretty sure you're gonna love this one as well. It's somewhere on the screen, and I'll see you there.